Deep in the jungles of Lustria, terrors lurk beneath the tropical flora that would be unimaginable elsewhere in the Warhammer world. Agile cold ones stalk amidst the shadows, while titanic stegodons and bastiladons crush the undergrowth beneath their feet, creating corridors of open space with their lumbering strides. The skies and waterways of Lustria aren't any safer than the land, as massive pterodons soar overhead and amphibious salamanders ply the rivers. Any and all of these creatures are perfectly capable of dealing out death to those who trespass upon their lands, but none are more feared than the mighty Carnosaur. While there are larger predators hiding within Lustria's jungles, Carnosaurs are undoubtedly the most active and ferocious of the animals dwelling there. These large, bipedal reptiles predate the arrival of the Old Ones to the Warhammer world, and their ferocity calls back to that bygone era. A Carnosaur is built for speed and power, perfectly suited for hunting the massive beasts that share their tropical home. Their jaws are well suited for ripping out huge, bloody chunks from their chosen prey, tearing apart dragons and stegodons as easily as men and elves. Curved claws adorn their hind limbs, capable of carving open the bellies of even the most heavily armored bastiladons. Their forearms have shorter claws, but their powerful grasp lets them hold foes long enough to deliver a devastating bite with dagger-like teeth. If a Carnosaur's prey tries to retaliate, it's highly unlikely that any blows they land will be telling. Thick scales and a remarkable constitution keep the creature going long after lesser monsters would have fallen or retreated. Despite these impressive armaments, the Carnosaur's most dangerous asset is not physical, but mental. Upon scenting or tasting blood, they enter into a blood frenzy that cannot be stopped until the enemy is torn apart. This makes it exceptionally difficult to break a Carnosaur's will in battle. These powerful beasts will fight to the death rather than retreat upon tasting flesh. Fortunately for the Carnosaur, few opponents are dangerous enough to make retreat a necessity. As one might expect of such a ferocious beast, adult Carnosaurs are completely untrainable. Their pugnacious nature and immense bulk makes them difficult to capture, let alone domesticate. This has not prevented the Lizardmen of Lustria from exploiting the beast for battle, however. Instead of capturing an adult Carnosaur, skink braves will sneak into a nest to steal eggs. The danger is great, as some greater demons are less dangerous than an enraged mother Carnosaur, but the reward is even greater. If successful, the Lizardmen will be able to train a Carnosaur. This process is risky as well, with even a newly hatched baby standing taller than its skink trainers. Their vicious nature and razor-sharp teeth are present from birth, and few handlers survive to see the task completed. Once the process is finished, the Lizardmen have a newly minted weapon of war capable of laying waste to small armies single-handedly. Once a Carnosaur is fully grown and trained, they are claimed as mounts by select Saurus warriors. Only Saurus spawned with the blessing of the Old One Itzel can attempt the process, but this mark alone is no guarantee that they can bend a Carnosaur to their will. Even in the best of conditions, controlling a Carnosaur requires immense strength and skill. When the Carnosaur is gripped by its blood frenzy, only the most determined of Saurus can keep them in check. If a Saurus warrior can keep its mount controlled, however, the armies of the Lizardmen will benefit for centuries to come. While not as long-lived as their Lizardmen masters, Carnosaurs can live for several centuries before succumbing to age. Grimlock, the Carnosaur mount for Krokgar, is at least 6 centuries old and shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. In Total War Warhammer, Carnosaurs are an amazing monstrous unit on the Lizardmen roster. They can be taken as mounts for Saurus Oldbloods and Saurus Scar veterans, though there is a feral variety if you don't want to embed one of your heroes in an army. If taken as a mount, they greatly increase the character's speed and hit points at the cost of some melee attack and melee defense. The Carnosaur also gives Frenzy and a massive bonus versus large to represent their skill at hunting the titanic beasts of Lustria. Of course, as would be expected of a T-Rex stand-in, they also cause fear and terror. Feral Carnosaurs are significantly cheaper than a lord or hero mounted on one, but they also come with several downsides. For one, they can be rampaged, though this can be mitigated by the cold-blooded ability Lizardmen lords and heroes possess. In addition, their leadership and melee defense are lower than a character mounted on a Carnosaur. Ultimately, both options have upsides and downsides, and it really depends on what role you want the creature to perform in your army. It is important that you include at least one in your army, however, because can you really call yourself a Lizardman fan without taking a proxy T-Rex? Now, I have a little bit of training in paleontology, So for fun, I'm going to do a bit of a phylogenetic breakdown of what a Carnosaur might actually be closely related to among real dinosaurs. Despite referring to it as a T-Rex proxy several times throughout this video, I don't think it's a relative of the Tyrant King. For one, its long forelimbs are completely out of character for a Tyrannosaurid, as are its retracted second toe claws. This suggests a raptor heritage, making it related to animals like Deinonychus and Velociraptor, despite its jagged teeth and complete lack of feathers. Other features muddle the water, however. The possession of 4 fingers on the Carnosaur's forelimbs suggests a close tie to basal theropods like Dilophosaurus, as is its tendency to stand on 4 limbs at a time. The lack of a ramrod stiff tail also casts doubt on its close ties to raptors. On the other hand, the Carnosaurus' pronounced chest indicates the presence of a keel, a bony projection extending from the sternum that's only found in modern species like birds. Parsimony suggests that Carnosaurs were probably gigantic basal theropods who independently developed retractable toe claws, but we'll probably never really know. I doubt that the designers at GW gave realistic dinosaur evolution a second thought when designing the Carnosaur model. Thank you for listening to this video in my Monsters of Warhammer series, this time covering the dreaded Carnosaurs of Lustria. I'd also like to thank you for indulging my love of dinosaurs with that little digression into dinosaur phylogenetics towards the end. If you got this far, you're a real trooper. As per usual, like, subscribe, and comment down below to spread this content across the blessed algorithm. This video itself was a suggestion, coming to you courtesy of Drake Claw, so please don't be afraid to mention a topic you want to see covered in the future in the comments. It will eventually be covered. Until next time, this has been Sigmar's Chosen, signing off for now.